That is why Donald Trump so deeply fears his impending losses in these midterm elections, because he recognizes that when there's a change in the balance of power in Washington, there will be real transparency and accountability imposed, and he and those who have enabled him will have to answer for their misconduct.
All right, everybody, this is rapidly developing into one of the largest and most shocking stories of the week. But the good news is Democrats are fighting back. So on Thursday, Donald Trump is slated to give a speech to the entire nation, a primetime speech in which he tries to plunge all of America into his election psychosis that he has been suffering since his loss 6 years ago. That's right. Trump is trying to relitigate the 2020 election and say that it was stolen. And the reporting says, in particular, Donald Trump is planning to announce that Georgia's 2 senators, Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, are illegitimate because of fraud, a well-placed source in Georgia tells us. The announcement could come as soon as tonight. Right away, Senator Jon Ossoff fired back, and now he's doing interviews exposing what Republicans actually think about this. If you want to help these videos, make sure you drop a like. It's genuinely the best way to keep pushing forward in this independent media environment. We don't have any investors. The only backers we have are you guys, and we're all in this together. So subscribe below, and let's start off with this right here. Jon Ossoff says, Donald Trump's spiral continues. The failed president, pocketing billions as he drives up prices, is afraid to lose the midterms. So he will reheat debunked election conspiracy theories and tell bizarre new lies to deny his 2020 defeat and attack voting rights. This is a disaster for Trump puppet Mike Collins, who Jon Ossoff is running against. Already mired in scandal, Mike will now have to double down on conspiracy theories toxic in the general election. From the start, Trump's obsession with Georgia elections revealed his fury that black voters were instrumental to his defeat. I'm asking concerned citizens nationwide to join me and support our voter protection efforts in Georgia. Let me remind you, Georgia was one of the states that Donald Trump surgically targeted back in 2020, even going so far as calling their Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger in early 2021, telling him to find the votes. He wanted him to find 11,672 votes, something like that, a specific amount of votes that would have rigged the entire election in Donald Trump's favor, yet Brad Raffensperger held his line, just like Jon Ossoff is holding the line. Before I play this clip of Ossoff just moments ago, ripping into Donald Trump and Republicans, I also have some other good news about Democrats fighting back. Just today, we learned that the Writers Guild of America has now filed a lawsuit to block the Paramount and Warner Bros. Merger. Quote, with fewer competitors, a merged Paramount and Warner Bros. Entity would have both the incentive and ability to lower costs by suppressing writers' wages and reducing output. Now, of course, this is deeply political, both from the ground up, including the unions and the guilds, to the very top, where the Ellison family is trying to consolidate all of the media in America and have this right-wing slant throughout all of it. Donald Trump was directly attacking CNN the other day while he was on air, telling Jake Tapper that they're going to straighten them out soon. Like, check out how bizarre this interaction is. While Donald Trump is on CNN, he alludes to the Ellisons coming in and straightening CNN out. But he doesn't say the Ellisons. He just says, we're going to straighten you out. So Donald Trump is supposed to be honoring Lindsey Graham after he died on CNN the next morning, and he uses this opportunity to push this power grab that they are currently going for. Watch.
Well, I know you don't want to talk about any other issues out of respect for Lindsey Graham, but we would love to have you back sometime because I do have a lot of other questions for you, sir.
Sure. We'll do that. We'll do that.
Thank you for calling in.
We're trying to have CNN go in a normal path, and we'll do that.
Well, I'm on a normal path right here, sir, and I appreciate your time, and thank you for calling in.
He said, we're trying to have CNN go on a normal path. And Jake Tapper says, well, I'm on a normal path right here, sir. I mean, that kind of directly loops into the fact that there is a massive merger happening with Trump's biggest donors getting CNN. They already have CBS. They have TikTok. The Ellisons are consolidating all of this media. They want Warner Bros. And Paramount. And now, state AGs, the attorney generals, the highest law enforcement officers in the states are pushing back. State attorneys general are said to be getting ready to to file a lawsuit as soon as this week to halt the $111 billion deal. This could be a potential major obstacle. I urge you to call your attorney general, email your attorney general, and tell them to file a lawsuit and double down. We will drop a link in the description that helps you find the AG of your state. This says a group of states are preparing to file a lawsuit to block Paramount's acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery as soon as this week, according to 4 people briefed on the plans. We are pushing back. It is time to push back against the authoritarianism. Let's listen to what Senator John Ossoff said regarding the news that Trump is trying to invalidate his election.
What do you say to your Republican colleagues who may agree with the president on this?
I don't know of Republican colleagues who agree with the president on this. Privately, most elected Republicans in this building think the president has lost it and is dooming them to dismal losses this fall. Thank you all so much for your time.
Mike Collins agrees with them, though. Mike Collins agrees with them that the election was stolen.
Oh.
Let's see how Mike Collins handles this now. Mike Collins launched his general election campaign doubling down on 2020 election denialism. Now he not only has to defend doubling health insurance premiums for more than 1 million Georgians, he has to defend these conspiracy theories about the 2020 election that Georgia voters have rejected time and time again. Thank you all so much.
Senator Ossoff not pulling any punches whatsoever. Listen to him here.
Billions of dollars for him. Is pocketing billions of dollars for himself while he drives up prices for the American people. He fears defeat in the midterms, and that explains his spiral into conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories that put Georgia Republicans in a terrible bind, because now not only do they have to defend this president's economic record, not only do they have to defend doubling health insurance premiums for more than 1 million Georgians, they also have to defend all of these bizarre conspiracy theories coming out of the White House. Finally, all this does is motivate Georgians to vote. All this does is galvanize the determination of Georgia voters to defy these cynical efforts to instill fear and intimidation.
He is right. This will backfire on Donald Trump when Georgia voters realize that it is a repeat of the 2020 election, when Donald Trump tried to call Brad Raffensperger and get him to find the votes. Due to Donald Trump's narcissism, he is directly undermining our democratic institutions, and Senator John Ossoff is honestly leading the way on pushing back. Another clip. Listen to this one-liner.
Senator, you have said a lot of things about the president, called him corrupt. I believe you said he's acted deranged in the past. And now if he does come out and call for voter fraud, do you think it's time to invoke the 25th Amendment in your view?
I think it's time for the president to do something of value for the American people instead of lining his own pockets while he's in office.
Very, very well said from Senator John Ossoff right there. Even AOC is absolutely killing it out there. She gets asked about the most recent shooting of an immigrant that happened yesterday in Maine.
Congresswoman, any reaction to the ICE killings in Maine and Texas?
I'm still taking a look at all of the details, but once again, this is not... I said this a couple of weeks ago, that I would not be surprised if when ICE funding started up again, that we would start to see more civilian deaths at the hands of ICE. And that's exactly what has happened. When you open the trenches with all of this money that Republicans have now funneled to ICE without any oversight or anything, you're going to see abuses of power. And that's exactly what's happening. You notice that, we didn't see things like this happening with the same degree of regularity when we froze the ICE funds. And now that they've been opened up again, we're seeing multiple incidents now.
Yep, very well said from AOC. The simple reality is ICE in its current form is entirely incompatible with our constitutional order. You can't claim that we live in a constitutional republic where people have individual rights and then have masked men walking around with way too much funding, masks on their face, not enough accountability, zero oversight, zero investigations into what they do, and then say that we still have those individual rights. When people are being killed, the investigations are being covered up day by day by day. Here's yet another clip of Senator John Ossoff. It is worth listening to what he's saying because right now, he's Trump's #1 target.
Talk about what could be the role of Congress. Like, there's so much speculation that the president this week could announce, whether his investigation. He's directed the Department of Justice to look into the election in Georgia. You know, if he says he's found something and tries to get the Department of Justice to act, what can you or other members of Congress do, if anything?
Look, the abuses of power, the abuses of federal power, the misconduct is unprecedented. That is why Donald Trump so deeply fears his impending losses in these midterm elections, because he recognizes that when there's a change in the balance of power in Washington, there will be real transparency and accountability imposed, and he and those who have enabled him will have to answer for their misconduct.
Very well said. We have fighters in the Democratic Party who are pushing back, and we need to continue pushing for a better country. If you want to join the Mockler Media, Mockler Mafia below, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you drop a like. I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.